The latest round of polling reveals a striking decline in President Donald Trump's approval ratings, reaching near historic lows that have sparked considerable discussion. Recent data from a national survey conducted by the Pew Research Center indicates that only 38% of Americans currently approve of Trump's performance in office. This marks a significant 9-point decrease from a similar poll taken in early February, shortly after he began his second term, and a 3-point drop over the past 2 months. Alarmingly, a substantial 60% of respondents expressed disapproval of his job performance. Pew researchers suggest that this downturn can be attributed to a mix of waning support from his 2024 campaign backers and discontent among those who chose not to vote in the previous election. The Pew survey, which was carried out between August 4th and August 10th, and included responses from 3,554 adults, has a margin of error of plus or minus 1.8 percentage points. This survey is just one of several recent polls that have shown Trump's approval ratings plummeting. For instance, a Gallup poll conducted from July 7th to July 21st recorded a 37% approval rating, while a Reuters Ipsos poll at the end of July reported a 40% approval. Historical data from Gallup indicates that Trump's approval ratings during the first July of both his terms are the lowest compared to any other modern president. Aggregated data from the New York Times and Real Clear Politics places Trump's approval ratings slightly higher, between 44% and 45%, with disapproval ratings at 53% and 51%, respectively, as of August 14th. Here's a summary of other recent polling results. YouGov Economist poll. Approval, 42%. Disapproval, 54%. In this poll, over half of the participants expressed the belief that the country is heading in the wrong direction and voiced dissatisfaction with the current state of American democracy. When asked about the ongoing redistricting crisis in Texas, which has ignited a competitive race among both Democrats and Republicans to redraw congressional maps, opinions were similarly negative. More than 2/3 of respondents stated that partisan gerrymandering should not be permitted. However, opinions were more divided when it came to whether such practices should be allowed as a form of retaliation against another party's redistricting efforts. With 35% in favor and 30% opposed, while 36% remained uncertain. This poll was conducted from August 9th to August 11th. Among 1,635 U.S. adults, with a margin of error of plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. Morning Consult poll. Approval 45%. Disapproval 51%. The Morning Consult poll shows that Trump's approval rating has hit a second-term low, consistent with previous week's findings. Interestingly, there was a slight increase in approval regarding the economy, although voters still expressed discontent with Trump's management of economic issues and trade, showing only marginal improvements compared to previous surveys. Conducted from August 8 to August 10 among 2,200 registered U.S. voters, this poll has a margin of error of plus minus 2 percentage points. CNBC poll. Approval 46%. Disapproval 51%. Among various issues, Trump's handling of inflation and the rising cost of living received the lowest approval ratings, with only 37% approving and 60% disapproving, figures that have remained unchanged since April and reflect a 5-point decline since the start of the year. Additionally, opinions on taxes and federal spending were also unfavorable, with approval ratings at 40% and 38%, respectively. Conversely, Trump's foreign policy received a 41% approval rating, while his stance on the southern border with Mexico was the most positively received, garnering a 53% approval. However, his policies on deportations and tariffs fell below the majority threshold, with approvals of 49% and 45%, respectively. This poll was conducted by Hart Research Associates Public Opinion Strategies from July 29th to August 3rd involving 1,000 adults and has a margin of error of plus minus 3.1 percentage points. As we analyze these numbers, it's clear that Trump's approval ratings are facing significant challenges. What do you think is driving this decline? Is it a reflection of his policies, or are there other factors at play? We invite you to share your thoughts and engage in the conversation.